and welcome back. I'm Krista Gibson with Growing Older and Wiser. So one of my subscribers sent me or in a comment section actually, mentioned that she's having difficulty accepting the changes in her face. That apparently she's aging, and apparently it's been an issue most of her life, but now that she's aging, it's really becoming an issue. And she wanted me to address that, and I thought, oh, this is a really good one because we live in a culture, at least in the United States we do, and I suspect other places as well, that really tells us what we should look like and feel like and what we should do and didn't do and so on. But especially women, although men are catching up now, they're being subjected to more and more of this. But as women, from a young age, we've been taught we should look one way, we should look another way. And certainly I'm someone who can relate to that because I've had body issues, size issues my entire life. I started my first diet when I was 4 and went downhill after that. So, it's been a lifelong thing for me. But as we age, whatever issues we may have had, I think, I hate to say it, but they're going to get worse if they haven't been dealt with in a way that we're comfortable. Because our bodies continue to change. It's kind of like when you're young, it's like as a baby, your body gets better, 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 better. And I'm not sure where this is. And it's boom. It's part of living, and this is part of growing older and wiser is how do we handle that? So I think I made myself a couple of notes because I really want to remember, because I've been taking notes on this mentally for myself. But first of all, I think is this whole issue of accepting and allowing things to be the way they are. And this applies to body changes, I think, even more than to the circumstances and the people in our lives. Most of us find ourselves at various times pushing against what is. We know it's crazy. We know that's not going to help, but we do it anyway. We don't like the way things are, and so we push against it. And at some point, it either changes with or without our intention, or we finally go, you know what? I'm pushing against a wall. This wall isn't going to move. All I'm doing is getting tired arms. So at what point do I say, I just have to accept this as the way it is? So step number 1, I think, is just coming to the place of going, okay, I'm really fortunate that I've gotten to the age that I am. Many people have not had the opportunity to be whatever your age is. And part of that, no matter, how many lotions and potions and oils and so on, or how much exercise I do, or the right eating, or everything else, my body is going to change. And I may or may not like it. But accepting that it will change, I think, is step number 1. The next thing to look at is to ask myself, okay, so I don't like, in this case, the way my face is looking. Maybe this woman doesn't like the lines in her face. She didn't go into any detail about what she doesn't like. Maybe the double chin, maybe the turkey neck. But whatever it is, not liking it. And so here are the questions I ask. Is there anything that you can do about it to change it? Now, some people want to do Botox and surgery and all the different things they have. And hey, if you want to do that and you can afford it and it fits your self-image or whatever, do it. Not anything from me. If you want to adopt some kind of oil regimen for your face or your creams or whatever, do it. But the first question is there anything I can do? If there is, do it. Bottom line, do it. If there isn't, then say, okay, there's nothing I can do about this, so I need to step into acceptance and not be pushing against it. So number 1, can I do anything about it? If I can, do it. If I can't, accept it. It's about wanting things to be different than they are. And that's a big thing. It's the balancing of this whole thing about I can manifest what I want in my life versus, gee, is that really true? And a lot of the people in the metaphysical community have gotten to the point of, well, I can manifest anything. And so when it comes to their body or their face or whatever, they're like, well, I should just be able to change this. Well, maybe you can and maybe you can't. The trick, I think, is working to manifest whatever it is you want. And this is body changes, money changes, work, whatever. but accepting that, it may or may not happen. It may or may not be the path that I'm on. And so it's the same thing with our physical appearances as we age, is, being able to accept what's happening while we also try to do whatever we want to do to make some changes to it and to make peace with that. Two other things that I really want to mention, well, three. First of all, is other people's judgments. And ask yourself, how much is other people's judgment coming into this? In other words, the negative feelings that you have about yourself, about your face or your body, how much of those are really yours because you feel that way? How much of it belongs to people in society in general, to your family, to your parents? How much of this is yours versus how much belongs to other people? The stuff that belongs to other people, just give it to them. People are going to judge you. I've learned that in my life. People are going to judge you quietly, loudly. Human nature. We're all other to someone in some way. And people feel they have a right to judge us, even if it's in their own minds and they don't ever say it. You can feel it. I can feel when people who I meet or family members or so on who are judging me for various things. And it's like, okay, well, that's on them. And that's where I've come down to with judgment, is I ask, is this how I feel about myself? And if it is how I feel about myself, in other words, is what I'm picking up really my own judgments as opposed to their judgments? And if it's my own judgment, then yay, I get to work on that. Well, why do I feel that way about myself? And do I want to change it? And am I comfortable with it? If it's theirs and I go, no, I don't feel that way about myself at all, then let it go. Who cares? Who cares? So they're judging you in their little heads. That's fine. Let them do it. Because it says more about them than it does about you. And they have to live with the results of their judgment. You don't. So the two other things that I want to say about this. First of all, and I'm going to specifically state about the changes in your face, because we all go through the changes in our face. And the first one is to reframe the changes. When you look at your face, look at the face and go, now I've got some lines, I've got some wrinkles, my hair color is changing. I used to have full, gorgeous, nice, full, thick hair. It's slowly falling out. Look at it and say, well, is this a bad thing? Or is this a symptom of my wisdom? Is this the result of my having lived the years that I've lived, gone through the experiences I've had, going through the acquisition of the wisdom I now have? So instead of looking at your changes in your face as bad and negative and I don't like them, flip it and go, well, wait a minute, why did this happen? Where is this coming from? Reframe it to, oh, this means I'm wiser. This means I've had life experiences that I can share with other people if they're interested in them. So reframe it so that rather seeing it as such a negative thing, there is something very positive about the changes you're going through as you age. It's hopefully a sign of greater wisdom, which is what we're talking about here. And then the last thing I want about this, and this I think for me really does sum it up, which is change our expectations and let ourselves be surprised by what's going on. In other words, when I look at myself or you look at yourself, what are your expectations? Do you expect your face and your body not to change? Do you expect that your hair is going to always be as full and gorgeous as it is right now? Do you expect not to have any wrinkles on your hands? What are your expectations? Look at that and go, wait, what about if I remove those expectations? What about if I let myself be surprised? I don't know what my face will look like this time next year. I didn't know last year what changes were going to come about in my face, my hair, my body. Be surprised. Can you reframe it and change your expectations and allow yourself to be surprised rather than dismayed? If your body is showing signs of aging, it means you're alive. It means you're still here. And like I've said before, and I said a few minutes ago, not everybody has that opportunity. So in answer to my subscribers' statement and or question is allow yourself to accept what is and work on that if you need to, and change your expectations of what you're expecting from your face and the aging process. Let yourself be surprised by what's happening rather than dismayed. I hope that that's been helpful. Please, there is a comment section. Use it. Tell me your thoughts and feelings. And have a fabulous week.